take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine.
Hi guys, this is the R33. We're going to be doing a weekly sports blog. This
is English Koala, and so today we are going to be talking about the England versus Slovenia European qualifier, which is kicking off in about 40 minutes or so. We've just received the team news for today, and the lineup reads as followed: Hart in goal,
happy about that.
Obviously. Nathaniel Klein at right back, which is
standing form.
Well, yeah, he deserved to be given the chance, given the fact Glenn Johnson was injured. Well, Glenn Johnson's form has been pretty shocking. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the
Liverpool fan, I can freely admit Johnson doesn't deserve to be anywhere near the England team.
If you look at the Chelsea game as well, in terms of some of the passes he was tempting, I think even at one point Mignolet got the ball and decided it was worse. It was better off rather to kick it out for a corner than to give it to Johnson.
That's something that will happen.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think Liverpool should have replaced him a while ago. He's not really been as good as he...
John Flanagan. Get John Flanagan in the team. Brendan Rodgers.
If you're listening, if you have time to sit there and watch this, I mean, we play Football Manager, we have experience. I mean, we've won stuff. I mean...
Titles between us.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous that we've got. Moving on, we have Cahill and Jagielka at centre-back, which is probably the strongest pairing that's available to England.
I definitely agree with that. I don't think Smalling or Jones are good enough.
Speaking as Man United fan as well, of course. Yeah, I have to agree. I think Cahill at the moment is probably England's best centre-back by miles.
Should be captain.
We've had this debate before, and I think there is a case to be made that in terms of having captain at the back makes more sense. In terms of I'd always prefer to have
you don't want a striker.
I think Ferguson was that way as well. Ferguson never wanted anyone ahead of the defence really to be a captain, in terms of anyone further than midfield really.
Yeah, because you centre mid or centre back.
Yeah, that's sort of where you ideally want it, because otherwise it's too far forwards and you find. But I think Rooney can do it, because in terms of as a young player, he made his debut at 18 and has worked his way up. He's getting his 100th cap today. As an example to England players, is to go, look, work hard, play your time, and you can emerge and become the captain of England.
But some players are just never cut out to be captain. It's about who's best as captain rather than who's best experienced.
I think Rooney is the type of player who can go into a dressing room and get people riled up and say, look, why the hell weren't you doing that? It's your job to do that. I think, example of that, if you look at the Leicester game earlier this season, Man United, when mistakes were being made, Rooney just turned and went, what the fuck are you doing? Just sort this out.
What was the score in that game?
So just going to bring the lineup back up. So I think we have
Gibbs at left back.
Yeah, Gibbs at left back, which I think
play, give him a chance. Yeah, I think he's actually one of Arsenal's few very consistent players.
True, but admittedly he's got the place because Leighton Baines is injured, but also as well because you have to consider that I think Bertrand should have been given a shout. Southampton at the moment, especially seeing how close we are to Southampton.
The squad, is it?
Yeah, no, I don't. I would have included him. Maybe over to Baines. I feel Baines hasn't, in terms of form, right now. I would pick Bertrand as England's left back. If you look at Arsenal's defence, it's been leaky.
It's shaky.
Yeah, leaky at best. I mean, surely I know you can't place all the blame for that on Gibbs. That's other problems that they need to sort out, like a defensive midfielder and centre back cover. And
England famously struggle for left-sided players. That's
true. Yeah, there is that as well. What we have to consider. Moving up the pitch, we then have Henderson and Wilshere.
I think Henderson. I know Liverpool are having an absolutely dreadful season, but the mark of a good player is he can still stand out in a team which is doing badly. And I think Henderson's actually standing up and moving into the Steven Gerrard role a bit.
I admit Henderson for me as of last season was a massive surprise. I remember when you first signed him, it was around the time when you were signing Carroll and Downing, the sort of transfer flops of about
Kenny Dalglish's British policy.
Yeah, of about three seasons ago or so, and people were very quick to judge him. And I think he did just need time, and he got more comfortable. He reminds me a bit in terms of that, in terms of the struggle, in terms of the De Gea idea. When De Gea first came. Very much got slated straight away. You just give them time. You give players time where they develop.
Grow into the club.
Yes, and in this case that definitely helped. If we then move down further up, we got Lallana. I mean,
I can sort of understand because he's the only Liverpool signing that's actually looked like he's going to work hard and do well, but he's really not in good form.
Well, I'd also argue as well that with Lallana, he's probably one of England's most technically able players. If you look at in terms of on the ball, what he can do control wise.
There's a clip of
the Assassin's Creed. If you want a quick sort of oh my god moment, quickly Google or YouTube Assassin's Creed Lallana trick of some description or look on their Facebook page. I mean, that was just ridiculous. It's hard to explain. Just go watch it.
One of those things where people say, "Oh, I could do better than that" when you see them out on the pitch.
Yeah.
When you actually see them practice stuff, it's like, no, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm not good enough to do that. Then the top three, we have Welbeck, Rooney, and Sterling. Rooney, of course, getting his 100th cap. Well, no, I think that's probably the best attacking three we have in terms of root. And Berahino's on the bench as well. I want to see him come on.
Good half an hour at least.
Yeah, come on, like 70th minute or so, maybe. I think because Brian, the idea of this is meant to be a game that's wrapped up roughly by 70 minutes. This game should be put to bed, and we should be like, at least I would like to hope 3-0 up. I know Slovenia are the second best team in the group at the moment. They're on 6 points, just behind us, but it's Slovenia. I mean, I know we like. Who was it we were playing? The last time we played, we only beat them 1-0 thanks to a Rooney free kick. I can't think who it was. It was in our group. This is probably not good. We should have looked this up. But yeah, so I'd like to see us win like at least 3-0. But in terms of the attacking lineup, Welbeck, pacey, Sterling, pacey, Rooney, great finisher.
Incidentally, Ricky Lambert's on the subs bench. You know, we've always got this thing about not calling up players on purely reputation, but their form. He's done nothing.
Yeah.
Charlie Austin, get him in the England squad. Not just because he's my best friend's cousin. Get him in the England squad.
That is the big shout at the moment. He is, but in a way, Charlie Austin's become the new Ricky Lambert of about 2 years ago. You know, when you used to think about how like with that fucked up. Ignore that bit. Someone's phone. Mainly. If like the Ricky Lambert about 2 seasons ago, when everyone was like, "Come on, give him a shout." He's worked as well.
He was the classic. Go on, give him a go player. He's putting goals in.
The British underdog.
Exactly. Like, that's Charlie Austin.
And he came
Where's his call up?
And like, I remember I was on the way from a 6-a-side game. I got back in and Lambert came on and I was like, he's going to score. First touch, header, corner, just in. And
but this season he's played like 1 game from the start, I think, and only a handful of subs appearances. Hasn't scored. Hasn't even looked particularly threatening. And he's just got into the England squad because Roy Hodgson... James Milner. How is James Milner still an England footballer?
Because it's Roy Hodgson, I'd like to think. For me, again, the debate about whether or not Roy Hodgson's being England manager is another debate for another time in terms of the players...
Probably after the game.
Yeah, probably after the game when we lose like 1-0 or something like that and we've had 70% possession and no shots on target.
Don't hit me with statistics.
But the thing with Milner is, and like Roy Hodgson, like they're two very conservative players in terms of Roy Hodgson. The trouble with
traditional. He's a traditional England player.
The trouble with
traditionally England have done so well.
Yeah, the trouble with international managers is that usually by the time you get the job, they give it to the most experienced. And those are normally older managers. Particularly when it gets to older British managers, the style of play is boring.
Put in a radical change.
In my opinion, I would love to see someone young get like an international position. Just like someone works.
You got to think about it. Who would you actually hand that job to?
Well, there's technically, if you had to go through to April, there's no one really available. But I mean,
Villas-Boas.
Yeah, why not? I feel like it'd be interesting. Even give it to an unknown. Let someone have a go who we wouldn't expect to see. And if we continue to look at the bench, I mean, actually, no. If we go back to Lambert quickly, I know. Sorry, just a quick change of subject. But with Lambert, if you were in his position, I mean, he's what, 30 now? 31?
31, 32.
Yeah,
he's old.
Yeah. Admittedly, he was like idolised at Southampton, but of course Liverpool is his boyhood club. If that offer came in for you, would you be like, I'm getting first team action here, but this is gonna be like, this is like the last club I'll pay for. Do I want to go to my boyhood team? I imagine it was a very difficult choice. But if anything, I think Southampton have benefited more by selling him.
Graziano Pella.
Tadic and all those
great players.
Southampton this season, I mean, they got older world, like. Atletico, but Champions League finalists, like,
and champions of Spain,
and champion of Spain. Like, I don't get why they sold him as well. I mean, speaking as a Man United fan with our defensive issues at the moment, if I found out Alderweireld was on the market as Van Gaal, I would have been like, snap. Even as cover, I mean, Jones is injury prone, Smalling's injury prone, Evans is moderately injury prone. I mean,
Ched Evans has had more girlfriends than Man U've got centre backs at the moment.
I'd say he's also served longer prison years than we've got centre-backs at the moment as well. But if we look at Downing's back in the England squad, what do you make of that?
played one good game for West Ham and got in the England squad. That tells you the situation of our midfield at the moment.
What?
Just quickly on the wingers thing, I'd like to see Theo Walcott get a good game today.
Oh yeah, because of course we've missed him sorely. I think
I think he gets so
underrated,
bad press because he was rated as this wonder kid. He moved to Arsenal too young and never played. But I think he's just an outstanding player.
And against Southampton, the Southampton Youth Academy is just unbelievable as in terms of a setup.
Yeah,
look at
Walcott,
Bale, Shaw, Lallana. Who else was there? There's enough players to list off and go through forever. In terms of the Southampton way of bringing players up. Look at the rest of the bench. Barkley.
I wanted to see him start personally. I would have
picked him
started
over
Lallana.
Yeah, over Lallana. And
I know he's come back from a long injury, but Ross Barkley is an outstanding player.
Yeah, but in fairness, Lallana's not been. He's sort of not had a.
He wasn't fit over the end of the summer.
Yeah, he's had like a patchy sort of start to the season in terms of fitness. In terms of goalkeeping, I mean, is it getting like too predictable now to have Hart and goal? I mean, especially after the QPR game with the free kick
for a competitive game, maybe. Maybe I'd put Hart in definitely, but for a friendly, have a look at Fraser Forster.
I know Forster for me is massively underrated. When he moved to Southampton, people were like, oh, he's gonna be crap because he called Scottish League. I was like, yeah, it's a Scottish League, but if you look at him, I mean, he was like getting linked to moves to Barcelona. Messi and Barcelona were coming out and going.
One of the best goalkeepers they've played against.
I remember Buffon came out about 2 seasons ago when they had to play Juventus in the Champions League and he was like, trust me, give Forster time, let him move to a bigger club and get to a bigger stage. This kid can be one of the world's best. In terms of England, so get back on topic.
Slightly distracted.
Yeah, should we go for predictions?
Okay, I'm going to go with 4-1 to England.
4-1.
I think it's the kind of game which will have all the chances.
We're at home as well. Cool.
It'll be one of those ones where we get really frustrated and we're 1-0 up at half time and then they get a goal back and it looks a bit dangerous, but we'll get a penalty or something. I'm going to go with 2 from Rooney, 1 from Welbeck and 1 from Lallana.
Well, obviously because it's Rooney 100th cap, I'd like to see him score a goal. I'd actually like to see him get a hat trick. I think that'd be a nice little touch. So I'm going to say 5-0, Rooney hat trick, Sterling, and I'm going to go for Cahill corner. Just for the hell of it. I mean, just why not? And so, obviously, we look forward to a very boring 0-0.
Yeah,
now
probably.
we've predicted these amazing scorelines. The 0-0. But of course, once we've watched the game, we will do another video and do our discussions on the actual match itself. So, until then, bye.
See you later.
Right then. So, England have just beaten Slovenia 3-1. This is about 5 minutes ago now. So this is just going to be our quick post-match thoughts and what we thought about the game and whether or not there is any sort of positive changes really for England. So, of course, both our school predictions. Well, you're almost close.
Just off.
You're 1 goal away. Not goal scorers were moderately accurate. Mine, on the other hand, was quite optimistic. I mean, I'd like to say it was a good performance. I mean, some of the attacking play at times was quite good. That sort of quick, short passing. But as you picked up, there was still that horseshoe issue.
I don't like the way England play at the back. I think they play around with the ball at the back too much, and there's no point in it. It doesn't do anything. Yeah,
so because for example, again, as we said about this, I think it was the Switzerland game. Phil Jagielka completed the most passes because literally it was just him and Cahill going there.
And you see them going into a bit forward space down the wings with today it was Gibbs and Klein, of course.
Yeah.
And they get into good positions and then they're forced to go back and it just
just goes
from side to side without anything achieved. When England got the ball into at points Lallana and Sterling, they looked to get through the back line.
Yeah, Lallana for me was disappointed today.
Yeah.
I feel, but again, because I know Barkley's just come back from injury and we can't rush him straight back, and I'm sure Martinez would have given Hodgson that instruction to say, look, don't risk him too much, because of course he's still probably a bit injury prone maybe at the moment after just coming back from such a severe injury. But because of course Welbeck getting 2 goals, possibly could have had a third.
Should have had a third.
Well, yeah. At times throughout the match, his touch wasn't brilliant, and maybe some of his decision making wasn't fantastic. But of course, I think it was a good response from England because, as we said to you,
it was disappointing that it took a goal for us to start playing.
Yeah. Although in fair to Henderson, great header. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better header in that situation. I mean, just over Joe Hart.
I just know this is going to bring out all the Jordan Henderson haters.
Well, no, I don't think you can blame him too much for it. I mean, the ball was in an awkward position. It happens. I mean, but the fact that
I think the replays don't do justice to defenders in that situation, because when the ball's coming in at you and you know there's strikers behind you,
you just can't do anything.
You've got to get your head on it.
Yeah. And again, we see moments like, I remember a goal that Johnny Lescott scored from a corner about 3-4 seasons ago, where literally he was just standing there, it came and bounced off his head and went in, and it was a goal, and he had no idea. So random freak accidents like that can happen with bouncing off at certain angles. But I think as well with England, it was nice to see like the positive comeback in terms of we went behind and then it took us 2 seconds to get the penalty, which
Rooney was a lot more positive today.
Yes, I think Rooney had a good game for his 100th cap.
Yeah,
marked it with a penalty, a very good penalty.
Probably
could have been saved, but he hit it powerfully enough to sort of make sure the goalkeeper could do nothing about it.
I would probably argue on merit he was the man of the match.
Yeah, well, his 100th cap, I'm sure we'd have to give him man of the match for that.
I think Welbeck scored 2 but didn't play well.
Yeah, I think
essentially.
I think with Welbeck it was a case. His second goal with Sterling, the link-up play was quite nice. Definitely way onside.
So poor. I find it difficult that he can have such a good England record and have such a poor touch.
Yeah, I think because usually when he plays for England, he does get played down the centre, or if he's not in the wing, he has more of a licence to come in, as opposed to his Man United days when he was sort of stuck out in the wide, which is personally where I always felt he belonged. Because for me, his finishing was never good enough to be a main striker behind like Rooney and
the third goal was well worked.
Yeah, the third goal was really well worked, and of course.
He got very lucky with
with his first one, the second England goal. We were both I thought it was actually a header off Henderson or someone at the back post.
It did look like
someone who's gone like that,
deflected.
And it or it just hit them in the face and bounced off.
James Milner, that's the most he's never the answer to anything. Yeah, you take Lallana
who is the most boring football player in the England team?
Lallana is an attacking midfielder. Okay.
Yeah, but
you've got Ross Barkley on the bench. He's coming back from injury, so maybe don't start him.
I feel like the experimental squad is what we're going to see against Scotland for that friendly. That's where I think we're going to have Mourinho, Barkley. Who else? We'll probably have, I don't know, maybe Klein. I reckon Klein will get into it right back. Klein did a great job today. I thought quite good defensively, good getting forward at times.
I was a bit iffy about Gibbs.
I feel like Gibbs did the job. I mean, in terms of obviously everyone would prefer to have Baines there, but I think Gibbs had a good game. General comments in terms of looking forward. I mean, as one of the commentators said at the end, I think it was Clive Tilsley said at the end, England keep on winning, but of course the trouble with England, and as we said in these situations, is we always beat minnows and then we build up our confidence.
We're going to win this because we played 6 very average teams at best in qualifying and won all of our games.
Yeah. In fairness, again, this was the first time we'd conceded in qualifying. Of course, it was an own goal, but I mean, I would count that as good progress.
I think we've done well, but I think it's impossible to judge until you look at friendlies. We need to be playing friendlies against big teams. Of course, the last time we did that was Germany, which was a year ago,
and Chile. And then that was the first time we had back-to-back victories. Yeah, back-to-back victories. Yeah, it was about this time last year, was it not?
Yeah.
And that was the Germany B team as well. Although, in fairness, being 1-0 by the future world champions maybe wasn't such a bad result.
Not bad.
And Chile, of course, have a very good team. I mean,
attacking
as we saw the World Cup this year. I mean, they were fantastic. I think most people expected them to do quite well. And in fact, I think really in that Brazil game,
quite unlucky against Brazil.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
the bar in the last minute.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was one of the sort of oh my god sort of moments of the World Cup. So overall, to conclude, of course, we'd say good performance. I mean, sort of strong, quite strong at the back, I'd say, and good going forward. So signs of improvement. Really, it wasn't as dull as it sometimes was to watch. I mean,
bit of a conflict for me in the next game. I'm actually half Scottish, half English. So
yeah, so I mean,
it's just going to be one of those ones where I'm watching it.
Yeah, you'll be like people who put bets on the opposition. Like when my friend put a bet on Italy to win against England in the World Cup this year, he was like, "But want some money?" I mean, it was a bit hard for him to choose. But so we'll be back, of course, for the England-Scotland game, and of course maybe in the meantime to do some other videos and opinions of Premier League teams and see how they're going throughout the season. For example, of course, being Liverpool and Man United fans, we've not had the best of seasons. I mean, so we could discuss reasons for that and why not. So in terms of that, so we will see you all then in the next video. Bye.
See you later, guys.
So 1, 2, 3, take my hand and come with with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine.